back to the Bubble Tea League, week 3 this week. Hi, I'm Worm. I'm here today with one Rito Burrito.
Hello.
And we're watching the TSC Deep Dive game. Looking like a good matchup for today's game. We've got two O teams coming at it. Um, Rito, do you have any hopes for this game? Any big picks we're looking at?
I think I'm not sure exactly for big picks. Both these teams have diversity in champ picks, pretty deep pools. Um, I know Defy Insight for TSC was able to get Twitch, which is his main. We'll be very interested to see if Twitch gets through again or if that gets banned away this time.
Mhm.
This is a very exciting match with the only two 2-0 teams heading into week 3. So only one undefeated team will remain after tonight's game.
I see. That is the case. Looks like the Twitch and Maokai are going to come out as bans right off the bat from Deep Dive. Um, DSC has run Maokai both weeks. It's been a super strong pick in BTL. Not surprised to see that one banned off on red side either. Um, yeah, looking like some standard engaged champs. Silas Wukong getting taken right off the table here. Um, I'm wondering if we're going to see a Renata ban as well. That's been another big BTL pick for the first 2 weeks.
There,
Counter engage is super nice into these front to back engage comps that teams like to run.
yeah, Renata's been seeing a ton of play. Kaisa also, especially in week 1, I think went 5 for 5 games in week 1.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll see another Kaisa pop up.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, some strong picks coming out here, I guess. Udyr, very good with the current demonic. Looking like the last couple days to abuse that one before the nerfs come in for the item. Senna, always a nice, safe, long range champ. Deep dive, knowing Drew that might be going into the support role. He also likes having that as a carry for his support.
It
So that's a good flex for them to be picking up round one.
it definitely doesn't seem like a Fire Knight to pick to me. It seems more like it's going towards Deidre. Um, I actually wonder where that Cassiopeia is going. Is that a Mage Senna bot lane?
Um, oh, perhaps, yeah. I know, Fire Knight's known for these long range, either put him on an Ezreal or a Varus, keep him nice and safe. But maybe he's been practicing some mages as well. We'll have to see. And
Oh,
here's that Kassadin.
that's some scaling.
Yeah, that Kassadin went 10-0 last week in Captain Javier's hands. So let's see if he's able to pull something like that out again.
That also puts a bit of a timer on the game, unless Cassiopeia gets a fantastic miasma.
Yeah, good scaling coming out of both teams, honestly. Maybe looking at a 40-minute banger.
We do love our Gathering Storm value here.
So true. And see what wraps up our first round here.
If they don't pick jungle, I expect them to pinch even more carries from Mina in the jungle.
Yeah, Mina, big hyper carry for them. Taking away the Kindred's really good value there, I think. But also good on other picks. The Amumu came out last week and it's been very good for them. There's that Swain for Tithaniel in the mid lane. Or, perhaps we've got a pretty flexible comp at the moment, but that might take Cassio off the table for the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. This is looking very comfortable for deep dive, and normally I'm one to favor Kassadin in a lot of drafts just because I feel like unless you're at very high level competition, it's very hard to close out games before he can come online.
Mhm.
But this deep dive draft is looking very strong.
Yeah, definitely some power picks. We saw two swings in the most two recent BTL matches really pop off, kind of take over the game with that big ultimate. Um, I wonder if we'll be able to, get that early enough in the game before Cassidy and Udyr can really get online here.
They took the Lux and the Mundo off the table, and they
Yeah,
round out with two more junglers for TSC, the
if
Graves and the
I'm
Nocturne.
if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Plobe is really one to be on those big tanks. Really likes, his Jace, his Fiora. I wonder, maybe that Udyr is even a flex. We'll see what they end up picking for top lane, but I wasn't expecting a Mundo ban here.
I think week one Plob played Mundo into XO. Um, I definitely would expect Plob to be on more carry champions like the Fiora. The
Big
Lee
Lee Sin
Sin
coming
for
out.
Mina.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be maybe maybe some good engage. Definitely a big skill-based champion. We'll see if Mina is able to pull off the insects.
First Lee Sin in NA to be able to pull it off.
Here's that Fiora. It's gonna be locked in, so we're looking at Udyr jungle here after they reveal the Lee Sin. It's a pretty good matchup. Udyr definitely able to win early skirmishes in that matchup. It's kind of tough for Lee Sin to out damage, Tiger stance or new Phoenix stance.
Yeah, it'll be up to Lee Sin to find opportunities to make plays with the kick. It's hard to find angles onto the mid and top though, so perhaps we're going to see a lot of bot focus coming out of Mina.
Yeah, gonna be a bit difficult with the Seraphine being locked in. Squishy, but lots of range advantage with the Caitlyn. So we'll see if there's, gap closing able to be done. And last pick coming out here from Deep Dive. Looking at probably a top laner here. Expect something for a very unsafe for last pick. Ornn coming out. So nice safe tank into Fiora. Hopefully able to survive that lane.
Yeah, it's a hard matchup for sure. Um, we'll be interested in seeing how that one plays out. Globe is very good at punishing people, especially on Fiora. I've seen that Fiora get way too fed way too often.
Yeah. Maybe taking the hit here. I'm gonna sit under tower for a couple minutes just to support the team fight for the comp.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Ornn scaling definitely helps bring deep dive scaling even further. Once Cassiopeia, Senna, Swain get all of those upgrades, and they're really going to start hurting, but they have to get there first.
Yeah. I'd love to see this be a really low kill game in the early stages and really, really have a good fight out towards the later stages, second Baron maybe. It's looking like it might be that kind of game if things go well for both teams.
Yeah. Looking at a possible LCK lull state for a while.
Mm-hmm. The only issue I'm seeing here is the ability for Deep Dive to match a late game Fiora split push. Caston as well, good in the sideline. So if they can get a 1-3-1 going into Deep Dive's comp here, it's going to be a bit difficult for them to match. Cassiopeia, probably the only one that'll be able to take a sideline late game.
Yeah. Swain can, but he can't match Caston or Fiora.
Yeah, it's hard to get him away from the 3 in the mid lane though, if that's the structure they're going for. They really
Yeah.
need his team fight power.
If they can get a Warmogs on the Ornn and he can just start eating waves and not let them crash into tower, then they can partially nullify one of the side lanes.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be running through our bans here on the client. Got 3 minutes to kill thereafter. Any players to look out for?
I'm definitely, and not just biasedly saying this as a top laner, keeping my eyes on Plobe.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of how this game plays out is going to be based off of how much Plobe can abuse the Fiora versus Ornn matchup. If he can get a few kills on the Ornn and just blow open the lane, that can completely change the way TSC can play this game.
Mm-hmm. on client here, it's looking like it is going to be the Cassiopeia mid. Very interesting. So we'll have a Swain Senna bot lane. Don't know who's going to take either one of those picks yet. Could go either way.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I did not expect this bot lane coming out of deep dive here.
Yeah. I know Drew does their team drafting, their team prep, and he's been really liking Cassiopeia lately. So maybe he just knows something we don't about the champ.
No, I'll be very interested to see how this plays out. I as a Swain enjoyer, sorry for non-Swain enjoyers, I'm glad that he's starting to make a splash in BTL.
Yeah, that's one of Nathaniel's main champions as well. So I'm surprised to see it. It's looking like it's gonna get passed down to Deidre. Surprised to see him relinquish that pick for this week.
Yeah, I was really expecting it to be Fire Knight Swain with Deidre on Senna.
Yeah, but it does get picked all the way down, or passed all the way down rather. Very interesting though. I wonder if they'll be going for a fasting Senna strategy here and letting Deidre get CFs and really all the power from the bot line.
I'd expect it, though I feel like Swain is very short range and will feel a lot of harassment coming down from Caitlyn Seraphine if he's trying to farm.
That is true.
If it's a farming... Oh, they swapped. They swapped before 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do have up to the 20-second mark, so seeing the swaps in champ select is fine. It's gonna be a Cassiopeia support then. Maybe still going for that fasting Senna strategy.
Especially,
Cassio with a bit easier time clearing out those creeps, I guess.
absolutely. With the Cassiopeia swap, I'd very, very confidently assume Cassiopeia is going to be farming.
And we do get to see the Nathaniel Swain coming up. So, thing of mystery, that pick. He does very well on it. He's got good heads up plays with his W's. We'll see if they're able to capitalize on him.
And Swain W is one of those abilities that really shows a player's awareness of what's going on around the entire map. It's just got such long range so early that you can influence so many fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this mid lane matchup just got a lot more interesting than a farming Cassio Cassidon.
Well, you don't want to commentate the cast versus cast lane?
That does sound like a good time, but you know.
50 left on the spectator delay before we can hop into it. You
hmm
asked me, but what's your matchup player champion that you're looking at here?
Um, a bit of bias here as well, but I'm a jungle main, and this matchup does look like a very interesting one. Gonna have some early pressure. I'm interested to see what kind of pathing we're gonna get early. It's gonna be great for Udyr to be, heading up top, maybe getting some early abuse on the Ornn. But the mid lane matchup, we all think, oh, Kassadin, not useful till 6. But if you can start snowballing him before that point even gets around, then it's not a bad thing for the team. So I'd love to see a bit of mid lane focus from both junglers here, really.
Yeah, gotta try to get that Kassadin fed and at the same time protect the Kassadin. Because especially pre-6, uh, Swain Lee Sin has a lot of kill pressure on a Kassadin.
Yeah, some good CC gank setup from the Swain, for sure. Um, we've got the semi-global ult from Senna as well. Looking for big shields on distant engages, perhaps. Is it fully global? I think Senna is fully
It's
global.
fully
My
global.
mistake. Yeah.
There's nothing like playing a top lane and you're in the middle of a fight and they get a shield from bot lane.
Yeah. Very fun.
fun and interactive for everyone involved.
There we go. Spectator delay down. We'll hop in game and get a fast forward to as far as we can in. Yes, one steamy hot game of BTL coming in. Hope you guys are as excited as I am.
Yeah, this is a really exciting matchup. I have not played against TSC yet, but we have had scrims against Deep Dive, and they beat us in our week 1 match against them.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
looking really strong.
yeah, they were feeling very strong as well.
um, the top mid support are good friends of mine. I know what they can do on their champions. Um, and it's looking a bit scary for other teams this year. We'll see if anyone's able to take down that roster.
Yeah, it's looking like a very strong roster, very good showing so far. Interested to see if either of these teams can keep their undefeated streak going.
Yeah, truly in for one this week. Looks like blue team's opting for that early engage against red team's 5 point here. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to deep dive, not red team. Oh, looks like just a bot lane stack. Hopefully no one from deep dive wanders over too distantly there.
I feel like there's not much of a reason for Deep Dive to wander in here.
Yeah, no early CC, not a ton of early damage coming out of either team really. But just a nice safe early game. Just to clock check, 1 minute 101. Are we about on
I'm
the same
exactly the
page?
same.
Great.
Minions have spawned.
Some good manners coming out of both teams in chat. Love to see it.
Absolutely love to see it. One of the better things to see. It'll be interesting. We've got a TP on the Cassiopeia in bot lane versus a Ghost on the Caitlyn.
Oh, Ghost Caitlyn, definitely interesting. Gonna help with some positioning against Swain Lee Sin.
Yeah,
See if that's worth anything later.
definitely will help with the Swain running at you with the Rylai's possibly slowing you down.
Like, red buff starts from both junglers here. Let's see if we get anything cheeky top lane as Lee Sin paths up to Krugs.
This was actually pointed out in chat. Cassiopeia only has a refillable potion because Cassiopeia bought the support item and then left base and came back and swapped.
All right, bit of a misplay there from Drew. Getting an early shove in mid lane from Tate. I'm gonna be harassing this Cassidon on their tower. Good root in the bot lane and first blood really quickly onto that Senna. It was a really good combo coming out of Defiant Sight and OG Pika Pika there.
Yeah, really abusing the range that they have early and just punishing them really well.
Yeah. Cheeky root came out of the bush, and that was the end of Senna's story. Big chunk on Iverion here too. Looking like some good early pressure.
Heartbreaking miss on the cannon, but Plobe's getting all of the vitals.
Yeah, that Fiora matchup as anything that isn't too fast or something that's too bulky really feels bad.
Yeah.
Even snagging that one.
Fiora also as a champion right now just can eat so many laners alive. Definitely a good time to beat Plobe with the champion pool that he has. Another vital facing Plobe.
And definitely, or Varian definitely just trying to clear out these waves, keep them under, or away from under his tower.
Pretty even farm all around. The Cassiopeia's up some farm, though Caitlyn's collecting a wave under tower.
Some nice perpendicular jungling coming out as well. Both junglers taking a crab of their own. Gonna be looking for the first ganks here. Rito is sneaking around the backside onto Iverion.
It's looking like a kill. All close.
Yeah, good dash away from Iverion there. Sniffing it out before anything was really able to go down. And Lisa not able to get anything off on this, shoved in cast. Oh, still looking a little bit, but gonna opt to complete that recall here.
Yeah, it's a really hard dive. Oh my god, I
Ooh,
can't believe that didn't stop
so
the back.
close.
Globe going for another trade, but he's got the health disadvantage. A fantastic parry leads to a lot of damage on Iverion. Probably trying to get some chip damage before TPing back. CS bot has about equalized. Actually, quite sizable advantage for mid lane already. To be expected in a casted matchup, but
really toughest casted being perma-shoved in. Even post 6, I wonder if he's going to be able to get too many rooms off here. Definitely going to need some pressure from the jungler if he's going to do anything.
Absolutely. For him to be able to roam, he's going to need to get busted out of lane with a Udyr coming in and helping shove, probably.
He's opted here for the early tier before even the catalyst is complete, so he's going to have really poor laning stats as well. We'll see if he's able to hit that level 6 mark in a timely manner.
He's investing in the scaling. Because Caston's not enough scaling, gotta double down.
Yeah, I wonder if we will end up seeing the rod. I believe the build is to get that going before you purchase the tier. Just to get that level 10 or 10 stack up as fast as possible. UDAF starting the dragon here, no pressure from the bot lane. We'll see if they're able to detect this one. It's gonna peel off in favor of a gank. Uh-oh.
Coming down. The snare lands on Seraphine. The slow's also going onto Seraphine. That's both sums out of the Seraphine, the ghost out of the Senna, or the Caitlyn, but she can't get away in time. That's going to be 2 kills if Nathaniel can clean this up. The last bit of poison gets the kill for the Swain, and there's nowhere for Seraphine to go, and they're donating the kill to Cassiopeia.
Yeah, very good heads up to peel off the dragon there. We saw that Nathaniel had the level 6 advantage off the recall from Captain Javier, and walk on down with the jungler to pick up 2 easy kills there.
That's a big swing already. 600 gold lead at 7 minutes.
Yeah, and they're just back onto the dragon. Nothing blue side can do about it. TSC looking a bit shaky here with the lack of river vision being pushed up that far.
Yeah, very risky spot to be in. Gets a big gold advantage. First dragon going over, and the very pivotal top matchup. There's only a 7 CS lead so far for Blob.
Yeah, got not much of a wave stacking up here either, but keeping it just outside Ivarion's tower here. Not going to be too much pressure on him. Some's burned in that last fight, not too much. TSC's bot lane going to be a bit vulnerable here with no flashes. We'll see if we see QDAF coming back down for another gank.
I'd expect to see QDAF path back down there, but it looks like she's clearing up towards her rafters right now.
Yeah. We're still seeing no vision. Oh, here goes Pika Pika to maybe get something in river. Yeah, but vision control on that bot side's looking heavily deep dive favored. Spotting that ward out as well. So Mina's gonna know that she'll be spotted here on the realm. And here she comes, sneaking into that bush.
They have no idea. The Q lands. We're possibly going to look at an insect here on the Seraphine, but I don't think they even have to commit it.
Nope, just using that Hika for one big kill. And walk out with 300 gold.
Almost up to 1,000 gold lead for deep dive now.
Yeah,
almost a solo kill in the mid lane too.
No solo bolo for Nathaniel here, but both ults gonna be used there. I guess it doesn't matter too much for Gassadin, but
I think Caston's happy with that trade. Very dangerous though, because he wants to recall, but it's hard. With Nathaniel now being he should have an opportunity for a recall, but gonna probably lose some CS to get it.
Yeah, we'll see if Udyr sticks around here to pick it up. Nathaniel really trying to shove this in so we can get his back timing off as well. And the gap in CS mid lane has kind of closed up, looking like about the same gap in bot lane, 10 down for TSC. Not too bad considering, you know, the couple kills that have gone over bot and the Kassadin in the mid lane.
Yeah. All around is the Kassadin, probably very happy only being down 10 CS here.
Yeah. And we see he's going for that double scaling. So it's looking like it's going to be a long one. What I really want to see...
Sorry, what would you say?
What I really want to see now is huge pressure in that mid lane. Want to be roaming up towards the Rift Herald and pressing the early game advantage that they've gotten here. Not giving the Kassadin any room to get around the map.
Absolutely. I also like QDAF being back down here already. The Q lands, gonna take it and look for the insect. No ult just yet, gets the slow. Slow also goes down onto Caitlyn. One more auto from anyone kills. Oh my gosh, just enough damage to kill Seraphine.
Cassio ult coming out there just to make sure that they can get it. Not enough from the Lee Sin auto attacks. But you know, it's just another kill picked up. Udyr on the top side hasn't gotten a successful gank off yet. This is a lot of time that he's invested here on the lane gank.
Oh my god, a clean dive from QDAF, getting the flash kick into the wall with a Q to follow to kill Defy Insight under tower and deny another wave.
Yeah, that CS advantage is slowly growing for the Rodcast. Looks like a dive coming out top lane as well.
Oh my
god,
Avarion gets a kill in the 1v2.
Yeah, able to stay alive for just long enough with the Fiora Vitals on him.
Flash up wall from Nathaniel gets a kill on the Udyr as well. And that's 7 kills for Deep Dive at 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's a bit rough. Udyr is up in CS, but invested a lot of time in that top lane while Lee Sin was able to just hang out bot.
That's a big cooldown used in mid lane right here from the Swain.
Gonna get a bit of damage off with that, but ending it to get the cooldown ticking yet again. He could be supporting this fight here.
Lands the charm. That's a lot of CC coming down and the shutdown going over to Captain Javier. We saw this Kassadin last week for him. He can put in a lot of work on it. So shutdown going over is really big for TSC here.
Yeah, big wave bunny being picked up here as well, putting him in the CS lead. Getting a couple stacks on that early Dark Seal they picked up. It's looking good for him.
In the top lane, the chains are coming out for... Oh my god, the flash ult from Cassiopeia just going hard on Defy Insight, who doesn't have Ghost, but the speed up from Seraphine is enough to get them away.
Yeah, good heads up play from Drew there, having the ward in the bush. Trying to abuse some of those cooldowns here. There'll be a bit of poke coming back out. Chunking Deidre. Gonna get some heals back up from the Seraphine, the Senna. Eyes turning towards Dragon here. Udyr's top lane, not going to be around for the smite contest.
They have information too, so they're just burning this, and we're going to be a 2-dragon lead coming in at 13 minutes.
Not much bot can do except for get that shove off and hope that Deidre misses the wave under tower.
An exciting soul.
Yeah, Infernal Soul, definitely going to be really big value on both of these teams here. Everyone loves damage, everyone loves AoE.
Yeah. I feel like you can't go wrong with Infernal Soul. Like, even the champions that don't have much damage... Oh, ult coming out from Avarion to clear the wave and make sure that there's no threat to go for this tower. A QW on the wave kills the rest of the minions, and the Herald is not going to do enough. Oh my god, the dive coming out from QDAF. The Q lands. A re-engage going on in the mid lane. The tower dies in top. Action all across the map.
Looks like they're going to trade some damage back onto the spot tower, but Ivarion losing that top security, going to be a bit hard for him, gonna have to focus on holding these waves bot. Teleport's coming in bot.
Oh, the Seraphine ult just barely misses. If that hits, that's quite possibly a kill. The Kassadin is on his way, but the Cassiopeia is hovering in the pocket with ult. The flash comes out from Fire Knight. They're re-engaging onto the Kassadin, who can't quite get away, has to burn the flash. Cassiopeia is getting a lot of damage on Plobe, who does not have flash to get away from this, but the root comes out from Pika Pika, and the stun from Plobe on the Ornn E was perfect.
Yeah, huge double root there to get Blob out alive. Love to see it. Gonna be threatening this tower though. Plates have fallen, so we're gonna have a lot less armor on the tower. And see if they're able to crack this.
Looks like Seraphine Wave Clear is going to be enough to keep it alive, and the gold lead is actually in favor of TSC despite being down 4 kills.
Yeah, the plates going on to the Udyr and onto the Fiora are gonna do a good number to keep them a bit in the lead here. But it seems like they're gonna get shoved off the tower. It's gonna fall.
They're setting up the flank. They're thinking about sending Plobe through the river. The snare comes down onto Deidre, who's hitting Cassiopeia. Udyr comes in. Cassiopeia is about to die. Fire Knight's going to die to the Fiora, getting the healing for Captain Javier, so there's no chance for a trade kill. And a triple kill comes over to Plobe, giving them 1,000 gold lead.
Huge fight. Yeah, kills back to even. Gold's still looking PSC favor. That's going to mean a lot for the split push matchup here. We already saw with a bit of Udyr support, the Ornn was having some trouble in the sideline against Fiora. It's going to be a lot harder now that the triple kill is going over.
Yeah, triple kill after the Divine Sunder has already come through. He's going to be shredding through the Ornn, even with the chains on him. A very good look for a re-engage by TSC there. Oh, Mina's immediately looking for more action, chasing down Javier, who doesn't have much mana. He might not be able to get away from this. The slow coming out from Mina, trying to bait out the ult. Looks for the flash Q. The Q lands. There's no way out for Javi, but he doesn't die to the ult. The last ward hop for Lee Sin, and that's going to be a kill.
Yeah, looking like some clean Lee Sin gameplay from Mina here. Really good on the pathing, really able to connect those Qs.
Yeah, very good bot focus as soon as they get the summoners out from bot lane too. Just repeatedly ganking and abusing that lane.
Eyes on the mid lane. We're looking deep at the tier 1 tower.
Oh, they get vision of Nathaniel, but they didn't see Mina come into this bush. There is no ult on the Lee Sin, so there's no chance for an insect, but they could still threaten a dive.
Yeah, here comes the wave. We'll see how they play this one out.
Flash ult from Deidre, but the E gets Defiant Sight out. Swain E connects. There's no way left to get out except... Oh, Gale Force is actually up, but doesn't not get it off in time. Michipoo gets 1 kill traded back, but they're about to kill him. The Swain damage is not doing enough, though. The Udyr just keeps healing.
He's alive forever.
Javier's chasing them down. Plobe's here as well. The Ornn is about to die, flashes away, but Plobe flashes after, gets the slow from his first E-proc, speed from the ult. That's a healing pad with almost... That's a full ace.
Devastating. Horribly, horribly gone wrong. Looked like an okay start with the flash engage, but after missing the stun on the Caitlyn, it's not gonna be one you should follow up on.
Yeah.
Deidre took almost their entire health bar from the tier 1 tower, and got a couple in from the tier 2 as well, and that was the end of his life. Big Udyr coming in with the Phoenix stance to clean it up too.
That Udyr would not die under that tower.
Yeah, Seraphine W keeping him nice and healthy to keep pumping out the damage.
Yeah, and
Demonic
Moonstone.
really shredding them through.
Already 544 healing done with Moonstone. That's some value. Plobe finding a way onto Deidre. Doesn't have anything to really continue this chase. Doesn't get hit by the Senna slow or the Senna snare and gets away.
Yeah, you can really see Deep Dive's trying to press this advantage with the Lee Sin. Early kills, early gold, strong early game champion. But it's just a bit too much. They're a bit too hasty to get kills going in their favor.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where TSC's comp is coming online and it's getting really hard for Deep Dive to come into them.
Here's the engage from Udyr.
Fiora's diving the backline. Lee Sin's dead already. Michipoo's gone. Plobe's almost out of HP, but Captain Javier is looking for the rest of the fight. Nathaniel gets his way onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn has no way out, and that's going to be a kill traded back, but the Q goes on to Seraphine. Continues the fight. The heal comes out from Fire Knight, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Plobe's looking on the top. Fire Knight's on the bottom. Fire Knight gets the snare onto Seraphine, but there's just not enough damage left in the tank. Javier is running through this team. He gets Deidre, he gets a Varion, he kills everyone.
Wow. It's gonna be first dragon going over to TSC, stopping the stacking here. Gonna get some chip onto the... Oh, not too much chip on the mid lane. Javier is opting to back up as they see the Lee Sin's alive and on the map. Gonna be hopefully a dragon secure before Lee Sin gets over there. But another big fight from TSC here. Good Udyr engaged in the choke point. The Swain's not quite online yet with that demonic to shred through in the middle of a team fight.
There's also just enough damage coming through onto the Swain where he's just not living long enough to burn people to death. The extra tank stats from demonic might be able to keep him alive, but it's very hard with the gold that's going over to TSC. It's an 8-kill Kassadin with a fully stacked Seraph's Embrace.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Fully stacked Darkseal as well, and only 4 more minutes until that Rod of Ages is fully online. So we'll see if even once Nathaniel gets that Zhonya's, see if he's able to out-sustain the damage.
We're looking at new lane assignments for the side lanes, with Swain answering the Fiora and Kassadin matched up against Ornn.
Swain is one of the members with no teleport. Oh,
the ult comes out from Deidre onto Pika Pika. The CC continues, but they don't have enough damage left in the tank. Fire Knight tanks the Caitlyn ult and continues the fight onto Michipu, who's getting slowed by the Swain ult. That's a lot of damage coming out, but do they have enough to finish it? He does not pull him. Oh my god! The Seraphine ult as Lee Sin goes into the tower, gets the kill onto the Lee Sin, but they trade it back onto Udyr. The rest of the help is coming, but Defy Insight's in a bad spot, and he's chipping away down to with the Leandries. Not dead yet. The fight is over, 1-for-1.
Yeah, a lot blown there for a 1-for-1, but good on Deep Dive to be, you know, keeping their heads up with these plays. Here comes Javier.
Javier is looking again. This roots come out, but he's just chunking everyone with his ult. One more ult on anyone basically kills them. No one can really answer him at this point with the 8 kills on Javi, and he's just walking through Deep Dive.
Yeah, no one going down in this engage, but really stopping that mid-siege from Deep Dive's side. Just gonna be slow pushes in the sidelines for now.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing how strong the Kassadin is, and what tools do Deep Dive really have to stop Kassadin from taking over the rest of this game?
Yeah, they've got lots of squishies. Miasma is gonna be nice, maybe on top of oh, Club getting some solo bolos here.
Club in a 2v1 with the Senna ult coming down as well, trying to run down QDAF, but knows that there's no shot to continue it with the rest of the team coming. Still very pushed up. The Swain E does land, and help has arrived for Plobe. The Q comes out from QDAF on the Gromp, no way over except for the ward hop, but now you're in the waiting arms of Fiora, who gets kicked away, gets the speed because the Qs connect on Nathaniel, gets the extra cooldown reduction. Hard to continue this fight, but QDAF is actually the one wanting to continue it. It looks like Deidre's TP got cancelled, but they're still chasing the fight. Oh my god, Plobe with the flash. Gonna get this extra vital. One more vital on Nathaniel is gonna do it, and Plobe gets 2 more kills over for TSC.
That's a terrifying Fiora. Oh,
flash ult from Deidre. This one gets the stun, and that's going to be a kill on Pika Pika. No flash left for Defy Insight. Does have Gale Force and E. Is going to make it away. That ult is going to hurt, but it's not going to kill. Kassadin behind, though, looking for the dive. No snare left on the Senna. The Gale Force comes in from Defy Insight to get the kill on the Cassiopeia. Michipu is coming behind the tower with Captain Javier. They're going to tank this up. Run down Fire Knight, who's going to flash away, but Captain Javier can follow. He's Kassadin. Chooses not to, decides to take the tower, and that's going to be the end of it. That's a lot of kills over to TSC.
Yeah, this game's really running away in favor of TSC here. You know, that Fiora already terrifying with the Divine Sunder and the Ravenous, picks up 2 more kills on the sideline. They're going to look their eyes over to the Baron here. QDAF going to stop the recalls maybe.
Javier is looking for QDAF. Doesn't have kick yet. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah, 10-0 last week, 9-1 now at only 23 minutes into the game. It's a very scary Kassadin if you're any other teams on the BTL roster.
Yeah. seems like the moral of this game is ban Kassadin against Javi. With no jungler, Deep Dive is here. They're saying we have to stop this Baron. If we can't stop this Baron, there's no shot. Nathaniel comes in and he is shredding Deep Dive, but there's not enough damage. They get the zone. They get to step away due to the Seraphine speed, and they live. Plobe goes down in the back. Michipu goes down. That's 2 kills for Deep Dive. They want to continue it, but they have no way onto the rest of the carries, and they have to back off. But Baron does not go over to TSC.
And great teamfight structure there from Deep Dive. We saw the Swain going into zone off the backline. That's what you love to be doing as Swain. Big AoE slow, and really distracting the majority of the team, while, you know, our carries and tank are able to take on the Fiora on the backside.
They're also
gonna
gonna
be super strong, but not enough to 3v1 just yet.
Yeah. Definitely hard in team fights to be able to do Fiora things. Loves to be in the side lane. Harder to get into the clump, especially against this team. It's really hard to get in onto them. Cassiopeia Miasma can just ruin her if she's coming in on the flank.
Yeah. And that is indeed what we saw in that fight. So good heads up from Deep Dive, able to turn on. Oh my gosh, the back just going through there despite taking damage from Captain Happy.
That was close. They also pick up the dragon. That puts them on soul point. This is... Although TSC is in the driver's seat still in this game, the scaling for Deep Dive is nothing to be scoffed at, especially with the soul coming in. If they can get one more, they don't even have to have position or be able to win a fight. They just need one 50-50 to go their way, and this game gets insanely flipped towards them.
Yeah, and they've got 3 shots at it. You know, with their current dragon advantage, one of them just has to go a bit tipped in their favor, and it's gonna be a different game altogether.
It gets very hard for them to answer the 1-3-1 now, though, with Fiora winning the bot lane very handedly. The Q actually goes onto the Ornn, so Fiora gets tower aggro, and it's really hard to stay for the Demolish proc.
I'm gonna go for it anyway. Fire Knight collapsing here with Deidre.
That's
Let's see
a
if
lot.
they're able to track her down.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
think
eyes on
they
Baron
have-
now. 3 revealed on the bot side. I'm starting it up here. Red
Plobe's
side.
walking.
They know what's going on for sure. Had to clear the pink ward.
Oh, the charm lands onto Swain. That's a lot of damage coming out immediately. You can't drain tank if you're immediately popped. That's more setup for the dragon. Javier wants more. That's about to be a one-shot QDAF. Oh, the kick was perfect to get the stun on Udyr as well. Deidre gets the re-engage on Defy Insight, who Gale forces away. The extra mobility on Caitlyn makes it really hard to get onto him. He steps on the trap because the trap wall's still there. There's no way out left for Deidre. There's no damage in the tank. No one here to help. And that's another kill for TSC, and they might be able to just go back onto the Baron.
Looks like they're opting for the mid lane push. Numbers advantage here. Not a ton of wave clear coming out of Deep Dive's lineup anymore.
They CC Avarion, so he can't get the throwback on the ult. That's a lot of damage on the Plobe. That's 1 kill back for Deep Dive. They're looking for the re-engage, but they have Javier CC'd. That's the one thing that can beat Kassadin. Just don't let him play the game.
Yeah,
They're looking to continue the fight. The Q lands from Lee Sin. Udyr is still fighting, but there's no one who can help. Seraphine's completely out of mana, and Kassadin is too low to be able to continue this.
You know, it turns out to be a bit of an overextension from TSC here, going for that mid-tier 2 tower. You know, great engage from QDAF to really profit off of that.
Absolutely. Oh my god, that's one ult. Javier is so close to 16. If Javier can walk through this team fight and get one more team fight in him after this, he's just... I don't know if anyone can stop him at 16. They're zoning him off now. The E lands for Nathaniel, and that's an almost dead Seraphine. The TP comes in from Fiora behind. They have to make a decision right now. They look for the fight. Their Fiora is in the backline. Seraphine's in the backline. Kassadin goes down already. That's going to be an almost ace coming through from Deep Dive onto TSC. They flash for Plobe. Plobe goes down to the Kassadin and the Cassiopeia burn. That is a 4-for-1 fight coming out of Deep Dive, and they're going to get the Baron.
Yeah, kind of sketchy there. Walking in with only 2 members from TSC. Half health Seraphine gets early chunked out by Swain. Not able to stave them off this Baron. You know, if we're looking at some word control here, we got the one pink ward placed, but really just walking into darkness. Kind of a misstep here from TSC. Gonna want to see play slowed down a bit here with the Baron up. We see Udyr going over to that dragon to start countering the stacking. Maybe set up some wards, I hope. Gonna be Scuttle Crab for now, as Deep Dive backs off with their Baron.
Yeah, there's no wards on Michipu actually, no pinks to place, so he gets the Scuttle for vision, but besides that they have to wait for Pika Pika to come in before they can get any vision set up.
If we're looking at the waves too, we're gonna have Deep Dive's wave pushing out in top lane. We've already got it pushing out in bot lane. You're gonna see them getting some early dominance in the river here, despite the Scuttle Crab being taken. Let's see
Javier-
what kind of vision we can get set up from TSC.
Javier's pushing out the top lane, but he's not going to be able to do much pushing before he's forced to TP down here. Still level 15 on the Kassadin. They would love to have a 16 before this fight, but it's looking like it's not going to be an option. Deep Dive is trying to force their hands immediately. The dragon started up.
Dragon.
No fighting yet, and they're taking it very slow. They pull it towards the top. They know that there's no way for Udyr to get in there. They're just burning it. It's going to go down. Udyr can't get in. The dragon resets, though. The blast plant is up. That looks like it's the only option. TSC is buying space. Udyr is looking to get over the wall, but Deep Dive drops the dragon, doesn't keep hitting it. They don't want to risk a 50-50, and they know Udyr's looking for it. They burn it before he can get in. That's soul for Deep Dive.
Yeah, not even much of a fight put up. Captain Javi taking it slow in the top lane, finally got that wave crashed in. Maybe looking for a fight to stop the backs here.
Yeah, Captain Javier really destroys the Lee Sin in top lane if they can win this fight down here or even stop the backs. But Javier is TPing down. They want the fight. The Cassiopeia ult is huge, and that's Pika Pika dead. Defy Insight is one shot from dead. He's going to get the ult on Deidre, who gets tanked by a Varion, but he dies to the Fiora. But Defy Insight has nothing left. He's almost dead, one shot from the Senna kills. He's running into the enemy team's base. He has the blast plants to get him closer, but there's nowhere left to go.
Yeah, it's maybe a desperation fight there with QDAF being back to base, Javier coming in to switch positions with them. And you know, did the teleport get cancelled? I think maybe Elysian cancelled that teleport. So it just ends up being a 4-for-4 and kind of an even fight, but Deep Dive definitely walking away with that soul. Gonna be big for them here.
Yeah, Defy Insight manages to pick up a tower and half an inhib on his way out. But this is still anyone's game. The scaling from Deep Dive is insanely strong, but on the other hand, Kassadin.
Yeah, indeed. I see KDAF opting for a Guardian Angel here before completing that Maw. Definitely gonna be still trying to pump out some damage in these late game team fights.
It's just so hard as a Lee Sin to get onto them at this stage in the game. But if you're Lee Sin here, you're like, I've done my job, we have 4 dragons. Now the rest's on you guys. I'll try to get a kick.
Yeah. Well, we're hitting those full level ultimates on our mid laners here. 16 on both top lanes, both mid lanes. Kassadin's gonna start getting much scarier here.
Oh, the Seraphine ult comes out. No one gets hit. That's half health left on the Seraphine. Varion's looking for the Ornn ult. Does land it. Gets the hit. Afraid to follow up. Mina is not. Gets the kill on Seraphine. Gets out with the ward. That's an extra kill going over to Deep Dive.
Yeah, just kind of randomly hanging out in that bot side jungle. Waves pushed out far, and the rotation over to it from Deep Dive, able to drop it a bit extra on that one.
Another flash ult comes out from Deidre.
Yeah, really looking to press that man advantage they have as they come down the mid lane here. Baron has worn out. Soul, of course, is infinite though. Let's see what they're able to do here. Just back off, it seems. Too much pressure from the Fiora.
Yeah, they still have this issue of the side lane where no one can really answer Fiora except for maybe now Cassiopeia. But Cassiopeia is actually just shredding through Fiora.
Yeah, and that's going to be Fiora going down on the attempted escape.
TSC is going to look to get something back, but there's nothing left.
Yeah, this is what I was saying in Champ Select here. Cassio is able to match in the late game. It's great for killing the Fiora, but you lose that teamfight power that you want Cassiopeia for. But we'll see how they end up playing out the split push matchup here. For now, it's just going to be super creeps farmed up, extra gold in the deep dive pockets.
It still feels like TSC's in the driver's seat, probably just because of the 2 inhibs at this point being down. But anytime that TSC goes for anything, Deep Dive is ready with the response.
Yeah, we've got gold advantage now back over to deep dive. It's maybe been there since last fight, but looking pretty close. Once these inhibs come back up, we're gonna have wave pressure coming back over to the red side. With the next Baron coming up, it's gonna be important to get those set up. I think either split pusher from either team, or any of the split pushers from either team, can really shift the tides with an upcoming fight.
Absolutely. I think this game is largely going to be decided going through the side lanes for this next stage of the game. How the Fiora and Cassiopeia match up against each other. If Fiora can keep these lanes pushed out without Cassiopeia being able to match, which it looks like they have a Varion moving down to match the Fiora, but they're actually going for the double match. So they both have TP for the Baron.
Here comes that 1-3, well, not quite a 1-3-1. Cassio going down, eyes maybe on Baron for TSC here. But, you know, we saw last fight for the Infernal Soul, we had the Kassadin in the top lane going for the split push instead of Fiora. It's going to be Kassadin on the Baron this time. TSC starting that up here.
Kassadin on the Baron makes their fight way stronger, but Plobe is getting a ton of damage down onto Deidre. Almost can proc the last Vital, can't quite get the angle. Manages to... Oh my god, the kiting from Deidre is insane. The Miasma comes down, there's nothing left for Plobe to do. The rest of TSC gets forced off the Baron, and that's just a clean kill going over to Deep Dive.
Yeah, a bit of a weird play here, peeling off with a numbers advantage from Baron and sending Javier over to the bot lane with his teleport to try and support the Fiora. Gonna be a bit late on that one, and now it's Deep Dive who's pushing down the mid lane.
That's also going to be Fiora dead for the dragon that's coming up in 20 seconds, and I think this Elder Dragon decides the game.
Yeah, and him's coming back up for Deep Dive here. Gonna be, oh, random Cassiopeia ult, looking for anything they can get early here. Good fishing tool, seems like a relatively low cooldown on that one. Yeah, Elder Dragon started up by Deep Dive here. We've got the vision dominance as well.
We're going to be looking for a flash steal for TSC coming out of Udyr, but he can't actually get in. He's in the pit early. The Udyr, or the Lee Sin gets the dragon. They're going onto the Udyr. That's an execute coming out. It is now a 5v4 with Elder. Health bars in favor of TSC, but Elder more than makes up for it. But everyone decides to back off, reset, use the number advantage left from Deep Dive, and continue.
Yeah, not able to steal the dragon away there. A bit unfortunate. This may just be too much damage for them to match up against now. You know, we want that Kassadin to be one-shotting backlines, but having Elder Dragon able to proc gonna be a bit scary here.
Yeah. The one thing that's still going in the favor of TSC is they've had the shove in the side lanes this entire time. They haven't even lost the top tier 1 tower yet. So there's a chance that they can nullify at least part of the Elder, but this Elder is going to guarantee the Baron.
Yeah, gonna be a really rough fight if they opt for it here, but Plobe just slow pushing in the bot lane. Not even gonna look at it from TSC. Free Baron, and that top tier 1's gonna get cracked now.
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
Not too much wave clear coming out from either team for a siege here. Got good range on the TSC bot lane. You know, Cassio's kind of nice, but it's probably gonna be looking like an explosive fight, maybe at the time that Elder expires here.
It looks like there's only about a third of the duration of Elder left, so they're going to be able to get this tower, maybe an inhibitor in the top lane. There's a lot of damage coming out of them, and Fiora's still not here with no TP. If TSC wants to fight this, they've got to recall now.
It doesn't look like they are. We've still got Fiora pushing up into that Ornn. Gonna be an inhib and walking away maybe from deep dive here.
That's actually a lot of damage going down onto the Fiora. Elder is doing a ton of work, and she's so close to the execute range, she can't actually continue the fight on Ornn anymore.
Yeah, walks it out, gonna let that wave push out. Maybe pick it up if Ornn chooses to back off, but can't stick around near him for now. Next up's the mid lane. Leave Ornn alone in the bot. Choose to shove this next wave in.
The Elder is officially worn off, and Fiora and Kassadin can look for a way onto the backline from that right side there. There's no vision down for deep dive, and it looks like that's the angle they're looking for.
Yeah, Javi with the sweeper up on the flank. But for now, they're just clearing the waves. Here they go.
That's a lot of damage onto Deidre. Javier gets out of the ult. That's also the Swain ult. That's a lot of tools used for for deep dive here. If TSC can disengage and look for a new fight, they have all of their tools still up.
Yeah, great ult out from the Kassadin there to avoid getting collapsed upon by the Cassiopeia CC. Anyway, eyes over to the Ornn splitting in the bot lane.
The Miasma's putting in a ton of work. The Seraphine ult comes through, but it feels like there's just no damage coming out of TSC. Deep Dive is shredding the front line. The back line's almost dead, it feels like, just from the Ornn ult.
Even without the big Swain ultimate, they're not able to push straight into the deep dive lineup. Gonna be low health
QDAF wants this kill. Oh, fishing for it. Plobe goes for the W on the kick, doesn't get the timing right, and that sounds like it's going to be all as she wrote.
Yeah, huge damage coming out here from the Senna autos on structures. Ult secured onto Captain Javi, who's going to be going down shortly here. And that's the Nexus. GG.
Fantastic game. Everyone played fantastic. This was amazing to watch. Deep Dive just comes out ahead, and that is our undefeated team coming into week 3.
Yeah, gonna be looking at 3-0. Good objective-focused gameplay. You love to see it. That's what team play is all about. Despite having some super fed members on the TSC lineup, just wasn't quite enough to match up against the early dragons secured by Deep Dive.
Yeah, the early dragons coming through, giving Deep Dive that security, and then it felt like as the Ornn items came through and everyone was reaching these late game stages, the extra bit of scaling with Senna, Ornn, Cassiopeia just really gave that advantage over to Deep Dive.
Well, yeah, that was a banger game. We got our 40-minute banger. Scaling was just a bit too far tipped in the deep dive favor for TSC to do anything about it when they started shoving in those Baron waves. So we can perhaps look for an interview participant from deep dive here.
Yeah, I'll go and get Deep Dive right now.
Wow, what a game it was. Who are we gonna get, guys? Do we have any hopes for the interview participant? Love to hear from QDAF, really putting in that early game pressure, starting off the game 5-1. Yeah, would love to hear kind of about the shot calling going on behind that bot camp to get the Cassiopeia in.
All right, I've got the Lee Sin who got all of those dragons, which gave Deep Dive a huge advantage. Mina, how do you feel after that game?
It was pretty nerve-wracking, to be honest, but once we got Soul, I was pretty confident that we could close out the game.
How did you guys feel about draft? Was there anything that really came as unexpected? Were you guys feeling confident?
We thought that we just hard won the early game and then had to close it out by 25 minutes, where it was going to be very hard for us. But then, as obviously that's not what happened, but that was our interpretation, and I thought we had the comp to do it, so I was pretty confident going into it. We had a lot of options to to play the map and scale, or to play the map and with the no prio mid Cassidon, so gave us a lot of opportunities to start sacking early drags.
Yeah, actually on the Cassidon dominated for them last week. Did you guys see that as an option and just decide that you could beat it anyways, or?
Our plan was to second rotation ban it. We didn't expect him to pick it so early, but I guess he thought the Cassiopeia was mid, and he's thought it's a good matchup for him, so that's why he was comfortable picking it early. So the flex first really worked out our favor.
All right. So you guys are playing against SB next week. Wait, no, not SB. Whoa, I'm looking at the wrong thing. You guys are playing against MBB next week. How are you feeling going into your next matchup, 3-0? Are you guys feeling confident?
Yeah, I think there was two teams I was worried about going into the season, and passed one of them. So I think for the most part we should be confident going into everyone from now on. And MVP has a lot of familiar teammates that I've played with before, so it's gonna be a fun week.
That's super exciting. Match to keep our eyes on. Unless anyone else has any questions, I think that's it for the questions, but fantastic game.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
GG's. Okay, so that concludes our first game of the evening. Going to be looking at a 7:30 Pacific time matchup coming up next. So we've got about 20 minutes downtime. I believe the stream's going to go down, and we'll have a standard bubble tea casting experience from not Rito, Burrito, and I. So we'll say thank you here for tuning in. Hope you guys stay tuned for the next one.